For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like the G3 Sportsman, featuring sturdy construction and superior features. These perfect fishing boats were designed with wide deck space, plenty of storage, and a smart layout. And they also deliver more fun per gallon than anything else on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
You are watching the Sports Source Kickoff with John Pennington, presented by Madisonville Marine.
Good Saturday morning, good game day morning to you, and welcome in to the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. Tennessee gets off its losing streak, wins a game last week, so it's carrying a long one-game winning streak into tonight's game at Columbia, Missouri. They're going to take on the Tigers. Identical 4-5 records, but not identical teams. We'll get into the discussion of the squads, and we'll have predictions for you, but we're also going to talk rumors. There have been plenty of them in the last week. We'll talk about buying and selling the ones that are out there. That's a little later in the show. Let's dive right in. First segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Colder weather is coming. That means it's time to think about the kind of workhorse boat sportsmen everywhere want. That's like the G3 Sportsman. What a perfectly named, an aptly named boat. The G3 John boat or Skeeter Bass boat. All of them can be found at Madisonville Marine, as well as many other types of boats, pontoons, deck boats, whatever you're looking for, they've got it. Madisonville Marine has it all. That's why there's no better place to buy a boat. All right, no better team than the one that's assembled with me today. At least I hope you'll take that as a nice ego stroke. We have Jimmy Himes right there and Vince Ferrara right there, both these guys from WNML, AM and FM. Will Overstreet, he's from VFL land down there, former Vol. And right down there, Mike Griffith from SECCountry.com. As I said, a bit later, we'll get into rumors about boosters, about Curry, about Jones, about Gruden. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I do want to start talking about tonight's game. Tennessee comes in on the one-game winning streak. Missouri has won 3 in a row after a terrible start. Let's take a look at what they've done in terms of results. Both teams are 4-5, but you can see from the Tigers' schedule, they haven't beaten many good teams, but since the start of October, boy, have they been scoring. I mean, now they got 72 in their opener against Missouri State, but 34 points against Kentucky, 28 against a really good Georgia defense, 68, 52, and then 45 against Florida. And much of that can be tied back to their quarterback, Drew Lock. And when you look at his numbers, here's what he did last year. Tennessee won the game 63-37 in Knoxville last year. Lock was 21 of 43, completed less than 50% of his passes, but went for 320 yards. Had a touchdown, 2 interceptions. But here's the thing. Last year, Missouri ran for 420 yards on you. And they're averaging more yards per carry this year than they did last year. So we'll hang on to that in a second. Lock, though, this year, averaging 310 yards per game, 31 touchdowns, leading the SEC easily, only 9 interceptions, and he has 13 completions of 50 yards or more. Guys, does this start and end with Drew Lock, or do you look at what they did to Tennessee last year and consider the fact that they're running for more yards per carry this year, and you're more worried about stopping their run game? Where are you on this one?
I don't think it starts and ends with Drew Lock, but he's certainly the catalyst to him. He's a terrific quarterback. He's actually, from time to time, struggled against some of the better teams that he's played. But Missouri, the last few games, has run the ball well. They ran for 227 against Florida. The last 3 games, they've averaged close to 200 yards rushing. They're not going to have the running team they did a year ago, I don't think, against Tennessee. Obviously, because Tennessee's defense is better. But they do run the ball effectively enough to keep defenses honest where you just can't gear up for the pass only.
Well, Drew Lock is really good. I mean, he's an NFL talent. And I think his 31 touchdowns through 9 games, he's the first quarterback to do that through the first 9 games of the season in the last 15 years among SEC quarterbacks. And you think of all the great quarterbacks that have been in the SEC the last 15 years. The running game, they now have 3 really good backs, and Crockett and Witter and the freshman as well. And then the pace, I think, is another issue that Tennessee's going to have to deal with, especially because they haven't really substituted a ton. But they have talented receivers. The offensive line pushed Florida around. I know they haven't played the greatest competition, but Tennessee isn't the greatest competition either. So I wouldn't just scoff at those last 3 games.
You know, everybody still talks about tempo, and it seems like just about every team in the country has now gone to some form of tempo. but Missouri is up on the high end of that scale. You know, you look at Tennessee, and they talk about being a tempo team. It's rare that they're got the opponents just huffing and puffing. Missouri's more of a fast-paced team. They're also a big play team. You look at Locke's numbers here against Georgia, Idaho, UConn, and Florida. His average yards per attempt, 10, 14, 10, and 11. That's your average for the game you're completing. I mean, Tennessee, for example, is completing about 6 yards per pass right now, which is not good. They're doubling that. That's pretty impressive. Is this defense ready to stop an attack that's got a run game and a throw game, as Butch Jones would say?
Well, I think the big question, too, is can this defensive line get you pressure? Because if you've got a great quarterback, the one thing the way to beat that guy is get pressure on him. But can they consistently get that pressure with their front four? That's a big question. This year, you've seen pass rush at times, it's in spurts. But at other times, there's nobody even getting close to the quarterback. There's a good pocket, and you're not seeing those guys get there. If that happens in this game and you let a quarterback like this sit back there and not get hit and not worry about get hit, that's where you start seeing the higher averages per play, because those plays take longer to develop. So he's getting the time. That's how you get beat in a game like this.
Yeah, I like the continuity on Tennessee's defense. I don't think enough credit's gone to Bob Shoop for the job that he's done the second half of the season. Obviously, Tennessee started the season so slow and gave up so many yards rushing against that Georgia Tech option. But really, since then, Tennessee's defense has done a pretty good job. Only 2 opponents have thrown for over 200 yards, and they've forced 8 turnovers in the last 3 games. They're playing better on defense with the same guys out there, and I like their secondary. So I give them a chance.
Okay, now you've hit something where I can take a shot. Let's take a look at secondary, because third in trouble. I looked this up. Take a look at this number here. You can follow me on Twitter. We do hidden stats once a week where we put up some stuff. The Vols defense has had a hard time, even if they get their foes into third and long situations, 10 yards or more on third down. Opponents are 11 of 18, 61% for 278 yards and 6 first downs. So 6 out of 18 of those on third and 10 they're converting. That is just 13th best in the SEC, ahead of only Missouri. So, Mike, you like the secondary.
Great stat. I got a stat. I don't have a cool graphic like that, but
I'm sure you don't.
Missouri's last in the league in turnover margin, and that's something that plays into Tennessee's favor. They have turned the ball over this year.
Okay. Who here trusts the secondary, aside from Mike? And here's the thing. I think it ranks number 1 in the SEC. They've faced fewer passes than anyone in the SEC because teams can run on them. How much do you trust the secondary?
I trust them to hold Missouri to around 300 yards.
Okay.
Well, if they force a couple 2 or 3 turnovers and play turnover free, I mean, I think Tennessee can win this football game.
Okay, we're not there yet. We're just talking about this. Can the defense stop the offense?
Stop or contain?
What do you think is contain is necessary for Tennessee to win on offense?
27 points.
You think Tennessee can score 28
on Missouri if they have turnovers?
Okay. Tell you what, Will, were you going to jump in there?
No, I was just going to say, it doesn't matter how good the secondary is or isn't. If you're not getting pressure, no secondary can last. They're going to get guys open.
It's hard to
like a former NFL pass
rusher.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hard
He
to
gets
sack.
the ball
He's a
quickly.
good player.
And a lot of Tennessee's passing stats are based on the level, the type of teams they play, the level of competition in some cases, and some of Missouri's numbers were skewed by the bad start defensively on the season.
Yeah, that first month was awful for them.
The here and now, they are much different. So that's how I judge Tennessee and Missouri right now.
Going to be interesting. All right, when we come back, we're going to turn it around. We're going to talk about Tennessee's offense, the quarterback situation. Garantano, McBride's supposed to be a game-time decision. At this point, with this offense and the points they're not putting up, does it make a difference? Probably in the turnover game, but we'll discuss. Come on back, and don't forget, rumors later.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like G3 John boats, built Gator tough. G3 Johns include all the features you could want from a workhorse boat. Massive live well capacity, lockable storage, even a midship fuel tank that allows for smoother running. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
From downtown to the duck pond, Broadway has about 30 traffic lights. In our 30 years, we've helped people hurt at most of these intersections, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Welcome back in to the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. Hope our mics were down. This segment is brought to you by Chariots of Hire. Let's say you want to make a great first impression, or maybe you want to make your 100th date with someone the most special one you've had, or maybe there are 4 of you wanting to make a concert into a night to remember. Chariots of Hire, they're the guys who can do it for you. They rent SUVs, sedans, limos. They've got the buses for out-of-town trips. They've got the huge motor coaches for tailgating. You name it, they do it, but just for social occasions. It really is classy, a nice way to do something special, make a holiday event a little bit bigger. Chariots of Hire, give them a call. All right. Jared Garantano twisted his ankle last week. That caused an uproar when Will McBride had his red shirt burned and came back in. For some reason, that has continued on, even though McBride played the entire second half. So, I mean, what were you going to do at that point? There should be no more. I even saw someone this week ask, well, Garantano hurt his ankle. Can that be blamed on Butch for mismanaging the quarterbacks? It's like, yeah, blame a twisted ankle on Butch Jones. So at this point, it's just everyone out for Jones. But Garantano hurt. He could have come in, according to Jones, if they had needed him against Southern Miss. Supposedly, he's probable. Game time decision. What are you guys thinking about the Tennessee offense tonight in terms of, to me, is it a high ankle sprain or a regular sprain? If it's a high ankle sprain, I think you're probably, and Garantano plays, I think you'll still probably see McBride at some point. Those injuries tend to re-injure themselves. Mm-hmm. But what are your thoughts on who gets the nod tonight? Any clues, any ideas, any scuttlebutt?
I think it's going to be McBride. I don't know that for sure. I just know that Butch Jones went from Garantano, could kind of gone back in, to probable, to now game time decision. That's downgrading each step to me. And I think that Garantano, but part of what they wanted from his effectiveness would be mobility. Well, he won't have that with an ankle injury. I think they're going to go with McBride.
Yeah, and you got to protect Garantano from himself. Remember, this is a guy who's held the ball and averaged being sacked 6 times a game in his first 3 starts. And I think to protect Garantano from himself, and I agree with Jimmy, that Tennessee's going to have to run the ball to win the game against Missouri. You've got to be able to execute the RPO. I don't see Jared Garantano on a bad ankle standing in the pocket, picking Missouri apart. I think you need a quarterback that can run and run effectively in Columbia tonight.
Okay, then you've got Will McBride playing.
I think more than like I think Garantano may try and go, just like he tried to put himself back in the game. And by the way, if you want to see the injury, go back and watch the game. It's when he scored on the touchdown run. He got rolled up on. Yeah. It was there for everyone but the SEC network to see, apparently.
Well, no, they saw it. They just didn't like burning the red. I mean, Gene Chizik, the genius that is Gene Chizik, he said that you could have run the Wildcat.
What were they supposed to do? Go out and buy a quarterback at halftime?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait a minute. That's the only thing he's qualified to say. But apparently Chizik would have just run the Wildcat for the entire second half. Anyway, let's say it is McBride. All right, he was 1 for 8 the other night. He came in, You know, considering the situation, no turnovers there, and that's one of the big things that Garantano, that's a difference you've seen in the offense. And you mentioned the turnover game in the defensive segment. Now we're talking offense. Dormady was turning it over a lot. Garantano hasn't, just one turnover. McBride came in, didn't fumble it away. They didn't let him do much, but he was only 1 for 8 passing. So Vince will, how much can he run the offense at this point?
Well, if you talk to Larry Scott says it's the same offense. It's just the next guy has to step up. They'll tweak it some, but
they always say that.
Yeah. I really don't have a lot of trust that Will McBride is going to be as effective as Jared Garantano. I don't think he's as mobile. Certainly doesn't have some of the game experience that Garantano has, even though that's not a large amount. But if Garantano, even if he tries to go and he's not mobile, he can't protect himself, can't be effective in that zone read. Tennessee has to rely on the run game, like Mike said, and do it with Chandler and Kelly together in the game. And we just haven't seen enough of that. Help yourself. And I think that can help the running game.
Saw it twice or 3 plays on that opening drive where they went right down the field and scored 49 yards. For them, that's like running the length of 4 football fields. But still, 49-yard drive for them is a long one. They did it on that opening drive. They scored the touchdown. You didn't see a lot of the 2-back after that for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, your offense right now, whoever's running it, what is your offense? It's your defense gets the turnover, and hopefully you have a short field.
Yes.
I mean, that is your offense right now. It doesn't matter who you have back there. You don't have much of an offense. So what plays you call and who you got out there, heck, I don't know. I mean, at this point, you don't have very much.
Right. I mean, they've been trying to rely on their run game the last 2 weeks. Last week, to an extent, yeah, it worked because you had 2 20-yard touchdown runs, basically.
Right.
I mean, so
with short fields.
Yes, with short fields.
But say this for McBride. The one thing that struck me about him was he was prepared to go in. I mean, this is a guy that was 4th-string last spring. He didn't look lost. He didn't have trouble with the snap count. He had a very quick release, and though he was 1 for 8, 2 of those passes, one of them should have been a touch. If you had a receiver with SEC speed out there, that's a touchdown.
Well, that place would have erupted if he came out there in that first play and drops one over the shoulder for
without working with the guy, without working with the first team all week that week.
All right, let me. Vince brought up the fact that Missouri's defense looked bad early, has looked better of late. Again, you look at the competition. UConn and Idaho factored into that. Florida not exactly tearing it up, but still, Missouri's 12th in the league in scoring defense. They're allowing 33 points per game, almost 37 points per game. To compare that, Tennessee's 7th in the league. So they're 13th. If you think Tennessee is, they're much worse. Tennessee only allowing 25 points per game. Is the Missouri defense bad enough to let Tennessee take advantage of it? They give up 181 rushing yards per game. Do you see Tennessee being able to move the ball against a bad defense, if they're as bad as they once were?
Some, but not a lot. Mike, if you'll get a graphic up for me. Get a cool graphic out. Yeah, you got a cool graphic for me? Missouri in the first 6 games, they gave up 220 yards rushing in the first 6. The last 3, they've given up 98. Now, part of that is they're getting healthier. Part of it is their competition level hasn't been great. But I do think the run defense is better, and I watched it particularly against Florida. Florida struggled to run it on them. Florida ran for less than 100 yards on them. So I do think the run defense is better to where Tennessee is not going to be able to just run up and down the field on them, I don't think.
I just don't expect this offense to look much better than it's looked the last couple of weeks, and it hasn't looked good the last couple of weeks.
They've got to show us something they haven't shown us yet, and they haven't figured out how to use Ty Chandler with Kelly.
And I'm to the point of I no longer believe you're going to show me something. It's game 10.
Right.
I'll believe it when I see it. In terms of we're going to show you something now.
It is Missouri in the show me state, so maybe so this game.
Oh, wow. Well, okay. On that note, when we come back, the 3 hottest groomers I've seen this week, well, not just groomers, 3 hottest groomers out there this week. We'll play buy or sell. And also, we'll give you our predictions for Tennessee, Missouri. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine.
When it comes to your home, no one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like Suncatcher pontoons. Ultra luxurious, sophisticated, and stylish. You won't find a more family-friendly pontoon boat. All with cutting-edge technology designed to enhance the quality of your time on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
Two of America's busiest interstate highways intersect in Knoxville. Interstate speed keeps traffic moving, but it can also result in terrible wrecks. We've helped a lot of people hurt in these wrecks, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Lexus of Knoxville. Get ready for the holidays, folks, with the Lexus December to Remember sales event. ES 350s, IS turbos, NX turbos. That's a lot of letters. It's a lot of great deals. Lexus of Knoxville, the premier car dealer in East Tennessee. You need to get down there to check out some of the nicest cars this side of anywhere. They're just fantastic. Lexus and the December to Remember sales event. Check them out. We appreciate them supporting this program. I want to remind you that tomorrow, coming up over on WATE 6 at 11 a.m., we'll have 4 VFLs. 5 of us Media Cats will be talking about the Tennessee-Missouri outcome and possibly, I don't know, I keep saying this every week, if this is a loss, who knows what else we might be talking about tomorrow. Would a change be made? All of that could be a very busy show tomorrow, 11 a.m. WATE 6 for the Sports Source. All right, before we get into our predictions for this game, I want to quickly run through some of the rumors. Until Butch Jones, until something is decided and announced, the rumors are going to get wilder and wilder and wilder. Just today, John Gruden took the job. John Gruden passed on the job. John Gruden took the job, and it's set to be announced tomorrow. John Gruden, I mean, it's just every morning you get up and there's 15 different rumors, so I want to have a little fun with you guys. You tell me, buy or sell, and here's the first rumor. The Haslams are demanding that Butch Jones be retained if he makes it to 6-6. If he makes it to 6-6, the Haslams are demanding he returns. Buy or sell?
So,
sell for as little as you want it for.
Sell it.
Yeah, that's solid.
Not buying it? Selling it? You're all corporate stooges. I sell it as well. I don't buy that. But if the Haslams were the ones that went and talked to coaches in the past, whether it was Gundy, whether it was Gruden, I don't understand why they would be the ones adamant at this point.
He told them no once before.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the next one. I love this rumor. Here we go. Rumor number 2. Charlie Ergen of Dish Network, Vol alum, is battling the Haslams behind the scenes for the right to hire John Gruden. All right, now this is a biggie because there's a belief that either the Haslams, they really want Jones, or they want to steal Gruden and take him to the Browns. They do not want him at Tennessee. Or maybe they're just ticked off that he told them no last time. But Charlie Ergen from Dish Network, who Tennessee's been trying to cultivate as the next big booster for a long time, he is now sweeping in for a Game of Thrones-like mano-a-mano showdown behind the scenes. It's going on right now over the heart and soul of John Gruden. Buy or sell, Mike Griffin?
It seems far-fetched to me. I'm going to sell that.
Anytime the rumor sounds like an episode of Dallas, you just got to sell it.
All right, sell it. What do you think, Vince?
Oh, it's so close. I'm going to lean no, absolutely sell, please.
Sell it.
Unless you show some video of the tug of war.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Sell.
You're selling it? I'm going to make you give me some details, though. You're going to have to give me something juicy to replace. If you're not going to play along, then I'm going to have you come up with some spend.
Charlie's worth $14.9 billion. Is that all right?
That's pretty
but
good.
He's not going to use that money to play Gruden.
All right.
See, what they're trying to do is keep him from going to Tampa Bay. That's what he's going to do.
That was an attempt. That's good. All right, let's go to the third one. My personal favorite. This is my personal favorite. This one came out this week. John Gruden has already accepted for $10.2 million on a 7-year deal. Now, I personally like the .2. That's a nice touch. $10.2 million, 7 years. It's already done. T. Martin has already been contacted about becoming the offensive coordinator and head coach in waiting. So apparently he'd be okay with waiting for 7 years. John Chavis has been contacted about being the defensive coordinator. Dale Jones at Appy State was contacted and was elated to get the offer to come back and join the defensive staff. Jay Graham, if they don't keep Gillespie as the running back coach, Jay Graham will come back in, and the announcement's already set for the day of the SEC championship game. All right, this is specific as the day is long. I will have Bob Hodge kill a crow, kill 5 crows. I'm an animal guy, but we'll do something.
Crow.
We'll do something. We'll eat crow. If that turns out to be true, I'm selling that one. I know it's crazy. I'm selling.
T. Martin waited 7 years before he became Tennessee's quarterback behind Peyton Manning. So surely he'll wait 7 more years. Of course I'm selling that.
All right, we're selling it. What do you think, Vince?
I mean, all those details, those are tempting, but I think we'll sell. And an all-Vol staff, the first in
that
history.
doesn't sound like Vol porn fiction, does it? I mean, the only thing missing there is dig up George Caffago, reanimate him to coach the kickers. All right, Will Overstreet, you weren't. Did Gruden
Well, that's what I
contact
was
you?
about to tell you, John. I may have to come out and tell you. I was thinking about signing those papers last night, but no, I think we got to sell that.
I'm going to Cavalieris it, guys. How about David Cutcliffe, John Chavis, and Randy Sanders as the offensive coordinator with Cutcliffe as the head coach? Can I start my own rumor?
No, you can't.
Okay.
But I will say, what about you're close to Casey Clausen? He was rumored to be on one of these things. And he's got a lot there.
He's still pretty happy being the Calabasas head football coach. He didn't know anything about that rumor there.
So he says.
Strength and conditioning coach.
There you go.
Brings
in his son.
No, Sanders is the coordinator.
I would say, it's going to feel silly with his son watching this, but we all know his son's at a family meeting in Tampa that was called this week. Yeah. So it's a family
How
meeting.
did he get? What jet did he use? Oh, wait a minute.
I think he used the Haslam jet, but the irony there is the Haslams don't want him.
No,
I can't figure.
Charlie Ergen hijacked that one so they could use his plane to go down there.
He won the struggle.
And I will say, if John Gruden is hired here like this weekend, this will go into a time capsule.
Yeah, I saw it on this show.
All right, let me ask you though, who wins? Who wins tonight in Columbia?
I've got Missouri winning.
You've got Missouri winning big.
17 points.
Okay, that took him by 13 on the Sunday show. Vince, who are you going with?
Missouri 20 plus. Yep.
20 plus. Okay, Will.
I had Missouri by 21.
I'm going with the upset. I'm going to take Tennessee by field goal. I'm going to Will the Thrill McBride is going to leave it out on the field.
And right now we go to Paul Feinbaum, who's going to comment on you picking Tennessee. No, I mean, here's the thing, though. Give me a reason, Mike. You have to convince us. The jury here says no. Give us a reason. You got about a minute.
Nobody's going to like these first 2 words, resolve and resiliency.
Oh,
I mean, really, Tennessee the last 3 games, though, has played clean football. They've got a +7 turnover margin. No, they haven't looked great. They certainly didn't look good the final drive against Kentucky. But this team is playing better football in terms of not making as many mistakes, not penalized as much. And the flip side is Missouri gonna Missouri. This is not a program that's proven to us it can handle success of late. And they've played nobody. They played a team that rolled over and died with the interim head coach.
If I'm doing this show in Columbia this morning, I've got a panel. They're going to be saying, Tennessee's gonna Tennessee. So I don't know how you can say
Tennessee
Missouri
beat Southern Miss last week. I thought pretty handily after shutting down their offense in the second half.
And Missouri beat Florida last week.
Had an interim head coach and didn't even look like they should.
I'm
giving you my logic. You guys can
turnover margin in the game.
You pointed out they were +4 last year.
+4 last year. One reason Tennessee was able to beat them as soundly as they did.
And Missouri still had what, 740?
740 yards, 420 rushing, and 37 points.
The game really wasn't close.
Yeah, I'll be interested. Drew Lock looks good. Drew Lock's a good quarterback, but I'm not so sure that this run defense will be able to stop that run offense that ran all over them last year. All right, Mike Griffith, Will Overstreet, Vince Farrar, Jimmy Imes, thank you very much for playing along. We appreciate it. I want to say thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Madisonville Marine, who brings you this show every week. We will see you tomorrow on WATE 6 at 11 a.m. for the Sports Source. We're in year 15 over there. Check it out. Going to be an interesting show depending on tonight's outcome. See you then.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.